What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So the Ember Tetra tank that you can see behind me has now been set up for about 2 weeks. Yeah, just shy of 2 weeks. It's at that ugly diatom phase, and at this point now it's really good time to put in autosynchlis, amano shrimp, Siamese algae, it's that kind of thing. I mean, I can't find amano shrimp anywhere at the moment. I think the supply chain has just been absolutely destroyed from COVID. I mean, that is the least of our worries, really. But I should be grateful because we've got the Ottos. The Ottos are great. The Siamese algae eaters, they're absolutely brilliant as well. Gonna get them in this tank and they're gonna clean up what's in there. I'll show you some close-ups now. It's just grotty. So here we go, guys. Look, you can see, look, there's that brown tinge to everything. Like, right on the mosses there, in the foreground, on the gravel. Look, the gravel was completely clean, remember, so it's got that browniness to it. To be honest, it's making it look quite nice and realistic. But that back glass, look, so, and in the middle there, and this side, you can see that's easy just to scrape and wipe off, but you can't really do that to the finer detail stuff. So that's where our fish step in. The autosynchlis and the Siamese algae eaters will chomp on that stuff and get it gone in no time. Again, amano shrimp would be great here, but I just can't find them anywhere. Maybe I'm gonna have to start ordering stuff online, which is not something I usually do, but you know, times must. I don't know what times must means. Anyway, the fish are in here. Let's get them temperature acclimated and into the tank, or the other way round. Click subscribe. Absolutely perfect. Look, straight away going to work on that diatom algae right at the back there. So it's good in a way that I've left it all there because they've all got a nice big meal to get them settled into the tank. Any more? Where else did they go? Oh, there's one there, look, just on that moss. He's going to be eating away at that. That's perfect. Now we should get the Siamese algae eater in. So there he is, just hiding behind there. He's only little. But he packs a punch. You only need one in a tank this size. So this is a 100-litre tank. One Siamese algae eater, a small little juvenile would be absolutely perfect for this setup. We'll munch through all of this algae in no time. There's some like nice, not nice, but look, you can see it there, the string algae, all that stuff will all be gone within a number of days now. Now the algae eater's taken refuge, but it'll come out in no time. They're not really shy at all. In fact, here's one now in my Asian aquarium, just sort of going everywhere. Look, there's 3 in here. So this whole big 120 centimetre, I think it's about 300 litres, something like that. Anyway, this has got 3 of those little guys in. There's no algae anywhere, so that's just how good they are. 10 autosynchlis in this one. I've just put 10 into that big aquarium, well, not big, that 60 centimetre aquarium back in the other room. It doesn't need 10, but you know, I can pick out some as we do more setups as we go. It's good to have them on standby then. So I'm finally bringing, not finally, I mean I've already brought loads, but I'm bringing another tank into the second studio. It's a cube aquarium, 2 foot, 2 foot, 2 foot. I'm gonna use it temporarily as a plant storage tank because I'm overgrowing everywhere and I just can't bring myself to throw them out. Don't do this. So there's absolutely, most definitely something to be said about the animals or fish. Definitely fish, it's a fish tank. It's not fish, is it? It's a crustacean. What is it? It's a shrimp. Something to be said about, you know, when certain creatures come out that you haven't seen for a long time or you don't see that often. Now this is my vampire shrimp Vlad. He was named Vlad after, well, the vampire, but he's so cool, isn't he? And the fact is, I don't see him very often, and it's quite cool because when I do, it's always like, oh, there he is, there he is, there he is. So yeah, I've shown you before, but look, I'll be sat here at my computer. There's my YouTube channel, which you're currently watching, and look, just at the bottom of the screen,
You just sort of see him stroll into view, and I'm just always like, yeah, it's Vlad. There he is. He's doing very well. Picking at the substrate, which some people say is unnatural because he's a fanner. You know, he goes in the flow for food. But look, let's face it, I've had him now for a very, very long time, and he's doing very well. So whatever is going on in here is working very well for him. Ow! I just stood on something. Right, so that's set up really nicely. Obviously that looks ugly at the back. I'm still waiting for some black backing to arrive and another filter to arrive, and after that I can dump in all the aqua soil, get all my spare plants going, get some more stuff going, because when it all arrives it's all immersed plant growth, and I want it to be converted before I put it in aquariums, otherwise you just get a really bad start. So it's good to have a backup tank that you can put, you know, plants in. I can also treat it as a bit of a quarantine tank as well. So I'm now over at the cube aquarium section area, I don't know what to call it, but as you can see there's a little bit of murkiness going on with the tanks. Now this is completely normal when you're doing a new setup. Usually I don't get the problem because I've got beneficial bacteria already in my canister filters, loads of plants, you know, and I can pretty much usually just put fish in straight away with no issues. I've never lost fish putting them in a tank, put it that way. But this is different. These are, you know, brand new sponge filters, brand new substrate. There's no colonies of bacteria anywhere. So that's what we're trying to do here by building it up. And to do that, I've been putting food in. Now with that, you're gonna get some bacteria blooms and then some die off, and then eventually it balances out. Usually by this point though, we've got a load of fish in, creating a uniform amount of waste with a uniform amount of food being fed each day or every other day or whatever. But to help it along, I think I'm gonna get some plants in, just some epiphyte plants, put them on the rocks and just get them in there. I've got loads available and it'll help it along. Again, these aren't permanent setups, it's just to get it all moving, make it look a bit nicer and a bit more interesting as well. So hopefully you guys remember me telling you about the Neon Tetra Blackwater aquarium. So I had tons and tons of floating plants all up the top here, and loads of them were dying off. Well, look, these are all new. Every single darker plant you see there is all new plants, and this is from the red root floaters, which is I'm so thrilled about that because these are by far my favorite. Just look at how cool they look, you know. There you go, look at that. Look at how they're all just floating there like that. They're going really red as well, which is exactly what I want. And even the frog bit at the back is starting to grow back. So I think what might have happened is that I dumped way too many of the floating plants in the water, and they just sucked up all the nitrates in no time at all, because when I tested there was nothing showed up at all. And I think they sucked it all up, and then there was no food for them. So effectively what I'd done was starve them to death, which is not good. Anyway, so now I took out loads of them, just kept minimal, and they've already doubled in the amount that's there and size, and they just look so healthy as well, which I'm really pleased with. And also I absolutely love those red root floaters. They're my absolute favourite floating plants. And before, I've not had much success with them, so it's good to know I've got a tank that really does produce really good ones. I can put them in other tanks then. Sometimes it's a lighting issue and, like I say, a nitrate issue. If you're feeding fertilizers, you should be fine. I always forget to do that in most of my tanks. I'm going to start fertilizing soon, trying out some different ones, see which one I really like. I mean, currently I'm using the Tropica stuff and it's working well, so I probably won't change, but who knows, you don't know if you don't try other things. But either way, I'm so happy that I've got those plants working really well, looking great. They're not working, they're doing the they're just growing. I know my problem though, before I know it, every single tank is going to have red root floaters in, but what better plant to have in every tank though, eh? Okay, so over to the fish. Now, I really feel like we could possibly get some breeding action going on in this tank. Now, I've left a load of the mulm down there as well. It's not hurting. I think it adds to the authenticity of everything. But to get breeding, apparently you need sort of like, you know, spawning mops and things like that for the fish to lay their eggs in and for the fry to potentially stay safe in. Well, I don't have that, but what I do have is this. A massive clump of Java moss that I can just sort of hook in around all of that wood that's in there. Let's do that. Oh yeah, that works, and it actually looks really good with that little hint of green in there amongst all the Blackwater that we've got. So hopefully there's, like, you know, there's really good vegetation there, and hiding spots. Hopefully we might get some spawning. Tomorrow morning when the lights come on, because I'm usually here before the lights come on, I'll take a little look and just see if there's any sort of spawning action going on. That would be so good. If I can get Neon Tetras to breed, that would be awesome, wouldn't it? To be honest, if I can get anything to breed other than guppies, that would be awesome. But guess what, guys? The cyano, whatever it is, bacteria is starting to show up again. So I cured it for a little bit, but it's coming back, which shows that there's obviously an issue that needs addressing, and you can't just stick some stuff in a tank and expect it to be fixed all the time. Now, it's going to be flow, isn't it? There's not a lot of flow down the bottom here, sorry. You can see that because, for instance, that poop's just sat there. Now, there's two things we can do, or one thing we need to do. One, we either get like a wave maker, maybe put it over this side and get it sort of sweeping around, or we get a big group of cories like we've suggested. Now, I've asked one of the shops that I go to regularly to put some cories back for me, keep them on their own tank if they can, and I'll come and buy the lot. So that's what they're currently doing. So hopefully we'll be able to pick those up soon and put those into this awesome aquarium, because, you know, I like the white sand, so I want to be able to keep it, and I want to be able to just get it stirred up without having to go in there manually every day. Cories are the key ones for that, but you've got to be careful because some cories apparently don't like the warmer water that the discus are in. So the discus are currently in a 28 degrees Celsius. I'll put up on the screen what that is in Fahrenheit. I can't remember. But yeah, not all fish can tolerate that, or they can, but they won't thrive in it. So I've got peppered cories, which I actually bought not too long ago and put into this aquarium. So you can see, where are they? Guys, where are the pepper cories? Cories? Oh, there they are. there they are. They're in a little group over here. Now, some people said that they don't like the 28 degree temperature. I read online that all cories can tolerate up to that temperature, no problems at all. Someone said in my comments recently that they got their peppered cories in 28 with their discus, and they're absolutely fine. So maybe I should put them in. I've got 6 in there, or maybe they are settled in that other tank quite nicely, so maybe I should just leave them there. I don't know, it's so hard to know, but either way, we need to get some cories for this tank, and that's going to be fun, and they're going to look great swimming around in there.